Hey everybody, we're live. I have a surprise for you tonight. This is Pop-Up Sunday. It's John Hope Bryant, founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Operation Hope, America's first nonprofit financial services network for the poor, the struggling class, the teetering class, folks with too much month at the end of their money, people like you and me. Also CEO of Bryant Group Ventures, 35 companies and organizations in total. I see you guys signing on. Hello, hello, hello. The audience is building. 35 companies and organizations that I run, 150 projects that I'm moving at any one given moment in time. Author of 3 books, soon 4. The memo coming out at the end of this year. But the how the poor can save capitalism is particularly relevant tonight to this message, to this brother that I'm very proud of. This is Kedrick Smith. I put his comment, or his spelling of his name as unique, the spelling as unique as he is, in the notes for the introduction. I want to acknowledge and thank the person that introduced me to Kedrick, Natasha, for introducing me to Kedrick as a bridge from me to him. He's a good brother. So Kedrick Smith is what I would call a role model, civil rights soldier. I see you guys signing on. Hey, Lisa Diggs. Hello, everyone. Karen Horry. Hope I said that. Blessed to you. A.R. Harris Logistics. Hey, John. I want to make sure I get this guy's name this time. All right. Abdur is, okay, good. I'll give you some acknowledgement. Miguel, Karen, Noel. Hello, hello. Marietta, get that right? Marialita. T.D. Bailey. Kate L. Beautiful last name. Marvace. Okay, let's jump into this. I want to take over your Sunday night. This is a very important civil rights broadcast. I want to thank everybody for getting us over 23 million views in a year. This is a movement from the streets to the suites. It's about moving your life from the head up. That as Dr. King would say, that no one can ride your back unless you're bent over. That was him in the Poor People's Campaign of 68. As Andrew Young would say, you can solve poverty from the neck up. As I would say, that there's a difference between being broke and being poor. Being broke is economic. Being poor is a disabling frame of mind, a depressed condition of your spirit. You must vow never to be poor again. And this brother is a great example of while others are trying to be a PhD, he's a PhD too. Introducing Kedrick Smith, who lives at least 4 lives. Actually lives 4 lives and put a death to 1. So I'm going to ask him to tell his own story. But let me tell you a little bit about him so you know what I'm talking about. So he's commanded from the streets a transition to the suites and to ownership back to the streets. The life he gave death to is a life as a young man that was interesting. None of your business what interesting means, none of my business what interesting means. But we know what interesting means, and all of us can relate to interesting. He was shot and made a decision. That moment, I got to change my life. But in the midst of that, he's bleeding, and he goes door to door, knocking on doors. I need your help. I need your help. He finds this one dude. Have you ever met this? Do you know who this dude is?
I went back to find him, and he wasn't there anymore.
Dang, it's like an angel, man.
Exactly.
So he found this dude, and it's particularly interesting because the guy lived in this house, and the guy opens the door and tries to close the door, thinking, I can't get involved with whatever's going on. Kedrick puts his foot in the door and says, hey, look, please, if you don't call 911, I'm gonna die out here. Am I getting that right?
100%.
Is that the word you used?
The words I said is, please don't let me die out here, man.
Say that one more time.
I said, I stuck my leg in the door and said, hey, don't let me die out here. I'm hit. Please call the ambulance.
Don't let me die out here. And his whole energy changed.
The whole energy changed.
So you had your foot in the door. He was trying to close the door.
He was trying to close the door. He didn't know who I was from a can of paint. I was knocking door to door. I had been hit.
And you didn't blame him for...
Didn't blame him. He didn't know me.
Right. You understood how he was like, I don't want nothing to do with this, right?
Exactly.
So he then... Somebody sees you on TV, they call on your phone. So you pleaded with him for basically compassion.
Correct.
Repeat it for the audience one more time.
Hey, I said, hey man, don't let me die out here. I'm hit.
And what did he do?
He said, okay then. And he got his phone and he called 911. Maybe 5 or 6 minutes later, I was laying there. Police were on the scene. Ambulance rolled up. Got in the ambulance and took that long ride to Grady Hospital. Thankful that he had called. And I went on the gurney and, go down the hallway. And it's just like TV. You see all the people over you with a mask on and in the hospital outfits. And I know I had at least 18 or so people, it seemed like, around me. And I kind of blanked out. I woke up in the morning in Grady with my stomach open, stitched all the way down from the surgery. They cut 1.5 feet of my intestine out, and
1.5
feet, and mended it back together.
Rainbows after storms.
Rainbows after storms.
Loss creates leaders.
Yes.
So this guy was a bit of an angel. This dude,
yes,
who you didn't know before, and you can't find him since.
Can't find him since. Knocked on the door to tell him thank you after my recovery.
Yeah. Gone. See, God works in mysterious ways, right? And that's just what he needed. But it was at that moment he decided, I'm going to make a shift in my life, right? I'm going to move in a different direction. I'm hanging around the wrong people. I'm in the wrong environment. And even if I'm completely cool, everybody else around me is not cool. This environment's not cool. I need to change my life.
100%.
And we changing your mind and changing your time. And then I guess God decided that he could be a blessing to others. It wasn't his time. Here comes an angel to call 911, give him a chance, because he asked with humility, don't let me die out here, please, sir. And your life pivoted. Now this goes back, let's go step back to the life you had before that, your grandfather. And I'm going to tell you how special he is in a minute. You'll really love this story about what he's doing right now. But remember I told you role modeling is everything? And you hang around 9 broke people, you'll be the 10th. Well, if you hang around a business owner, you're likely to be a business owner. So tell me about your grandfather.
My grandfather, the late, great H.B. Williams, Reverend H.B. Williams at that.
Louisiana?
Ruston, Louisiana. First black-owned bail bondsman company. First black-owned grocery store in the area that they call Frogtown. 5th grade education. Built the Grambling State University dormitories.
Wow.
Owned several properties, several pieces of land. He was a pastor of a church called St. Peter's Baptist Church. That church used to be an older church, and years later he ended up demoing the old church, building a new brick church.
Right.
The old wood that became from the old church was demoed, put on the back of his truck. He hauled it off to 336 Belton Road. Right. And built 2 duplexes there. Right. The duplexes and the house in front were the first pieces of property that I bought, and my grandfather didn't give it to me. I bought it from him. So back up. So even though his grandfather loved him, all that kind of stuff, looking at the comments, and he decided he wanted to buy the apartment, the duplex from his grandfather, didn't ask for a handout, didn't expect his grandfather to give it to him. How old were you back this point? I was about 28. 28 years old? No, I was about 31. 31 years old. Was this after the situation when you turned your life? This is after. Very important. After he turned his life around, decided to go in another direction, asked his grandfather for a hand up, not a hand out. Yes, Yolanda is a real estate guy as my guest. Good research. She already checked you out. Some people have already researched you. So we'll get to that in a minute. Changed his life around, turned his life around. Grandfather said, you got to work for this. You got to, I work for it. You're going to have to work for it. Made him hustle. Understand the grind, right? Made me hustle, understand the grind. H.B. Williams used to leave out the house every morning at 5:45. So if you wanted to hang with Granddad, you had to be up at 5:15 to make breakfast with him to be out of that door. All you lazy folks, all these young men, I ain't getting up early. Okay, I had to say, my father would leave out in the construction company. He had a cement contractor. I had to leave it without him at like 6 or 7 in the morning. Exactly. I didn't want to do it like you want to do it. I didn't want to do it, but he's like, get in the passenger seat. I'm not leaving you at home alone. Exactly. You're going to get in trouble. You're in the passenger seat with me, and I had to sit at jobs like 3 or 4 hours while he was doing whatever he was doing, right. Going to sleep in the passenger side of the car. Right. My head sticking to the window. Back then there was no air conditioning. You right. Stick in the head. But I remember those memories, and your granddad embedded in you, and my dad embedded with me, this concept of work. Right. Right. He wanted you to work. We talked about education, and my granddaddy told me this is one of his famous comments: before you get any degree, you better get your CS degree. Not your BS or your BA, but your CS, and that stood for your common sense degree.
You guys hear this?
Common sense.
Get your common sense degree. It's a Louisiana mindset. Jakari, Ruston, Louisiana to modern Louisiana. Mercy beaucoup for sharing this. Jean Bryce, I think Jean Bryce is in France maybe. So we have people all around the world looking at this, by the way, Africa, Europe. So, okay, so now you've bought this, you've used the same wood from your dad's church and duplex?
Yeah, it was his church, St. Peter's Baptist Church in Ruston.
Yeah.
The same wood that was on the church when it was an existing structure was demoed piece by piece.
Right.
That duplex is still, I collect rent from it right to this day.
And it was made with that wood?
It was made with that wood. He took it off hand, piece by piece.
Right, and you made sure that you maintain that wood?
I maintain that property.
That property, to this day?
To this day.
So now, my man has 4 lives. He's got, so one is the rental ownership.
Right.
One is hauling, what's it called?
K3 Hauling and Grading LLC, minority, MBE, DBE, I'm a disadvantaged business, which is a DBE, I'm an MBE. In DeKalb County, I'm listed as a LSBE. So I'm a minority participant contractor.
Right, and then you got you got Kedrick the investor.
Kedrick the investor.
Kedrick the landlord.
Kedrick the landlord.
Kedrick the minority-owned business.
Kedrick the minority contractor.
Is there a 4th Kedrick on business?
It was a Bledsoe's Barbecue.
That's right, Bledsoe. It was about some serious barbecue.
Bledsoe's Barbecue. We have our restaurant hat on hold right now.
All right.
But we're full throttle real estate investment, commercial development.
Right, and then there's Kedrick the father and husband.
Kedrick the father and the husband. I coach ELW, 10-year-olds. Shouts out to Coach Frank Robinson and my 10-year-old team out there.
Kedrick the community leader, because when there was some issues going on in his neighborhood of some folks running off potential investors in his neighborhood saying, y'all trying to whatever our neighborhood, so on and so forth, he understands that's running down the property values and scaring people in the neighborhood, even though there was some legitimacy to what the brothers were saying. It was the wrong way to handle it. Kedrick didn't just back away and say whatever. He went and talked to the brothers, right?
Sure did. We have right now in Atlanta, we have regentrification going on, to be quite honest, and tour buses of people are coming from different nationalities coming into the city of Atlanta, and then you have people that oppose that. There's been a few battles, and the neighborhood that this occurred in, my office is there. I own maybe 5 homes around the corner, and my warehouse. So went and talked to the brother who had the issue with the people, and then actually called the agent where the house they were touring was, and just try to see what's going on, make sense of the situation, stick my hand in there as a contractor, and then at the same time let people know that are from our community, hey, we have Operation Hope, which has a first-time home buyers program. We have Invest Atlanta, who are putting together $45,000 packages for first-time home buyers. A lot of us don't know this.
Right.
So I always try to be a stickler for saying that, hey, we don't want to be removed from the neighborhood. It's something that you can do. Okay. Somebody has to spread that word.
So let me say what he's too nice to say. If in the 1940s you couldn't buy a house, or the 1840s you were killed trying to buy a house, that wasn't your fault. But in 2016 somebody's coming through your neighborhood and buying all the property in your neighborhood, that is absolutely our fault. Okay? Sure. He's not saying it. I'm gonna say it. This is not about racism. This is not discrimination. This is capitalism, right? These are people who are seeing that this real estate is centrally located. It is low cost. It's right 10 minutes from their job. You cannot get upset with people. I don't care if they're white, black, orange, yellow, whatever. You cannot be upset with people who wanting to be 10 minutes from their job. You can't be upset with folks because they value something that we don't. So if somebody is buying something in your neighborhood and they using U.S. currency, not using food stamps, not using U.S. Russian currency, they're not stealing, it's not fraud, they legitimately walking in and doing what we could do, we can't get mad at that. What we need to do is get our credit scores up, okay? My man here from the hood, DA-HOOD, the hood. What's your credit score?
I have a 710 credit score.
Hello.
17.
So let's now get into, because people say, well, you can't do this. This is not, John, y'all talk. No, I've already told you, he came from the urban environment, right? You can hear the way that my man talks that, he's like, here I am. This is who I am. He's articulate. He's sophisticated. But you can hear the little. He's got a little vibe because he got to talk to the brothers in the hood. He works in the community, so he needs to be down, right? So you can hear that he's like owning his background, right? 100%. But he's coming at you with a 710 credit score, and he owns 40 properties.
47.
Oh my God! He said, "Don't get the number right." 47. Boom! Right? Drop the mic. 47 doors in our neighborhood, and he owns them in a 10 square block area. I'm sorry, 10-mile area. He's decided I'm the king of this area. He's decided I'm the CEO. I'm the real estate, urban community empowerment CEO in this area, and everybody else can operate, but I'm going to control this, not through intimidation, not through running somebody off, not through saying this, making claims about racism, not through picketing. Look at all the people who love you. I'm going to do this because I'm just the best at it. What did you tell the councilman recently? I own this house. I own this house. Hey, I have a house or a commercial building that is up for. Hillary Clinton was the former tenant there that is up for her campaign.
And whoever wants to rent it now won't disclose who's called me.
Another person running for office wants to.
But someone else is called and
wants to rent that same place
right now. I see my good buddy Thaddeus Bailey shouts out to Pristine Plumbing. That's Thaddeus right there. He just did a drain line for me the other day at 1135 Hood Drive.
There you go.
That's another good brother.
And he just sold a house. You see his photo on my Facebook page. Sold a house. I won't tell you the numbers, none of your business. But sold a house, rehabbed it, went in from nothing, turned it around, rehabbed it, sold it, made a 6-figure profit on it. And now he wants to go. He's telling me, okay, John, now it's time for me to meet a banker. So I'm taking him in to meet a banker because he's set himself up right for success. Now for me, it's my job to help him go to the next level. But let's back up for a minute. So you told a council person or a public official, I own a Bobcat, I own a,
Bobcat, I own a dump truck, I own land in the neighborhood. I'm located in the center of a bunch of development, Invest Atlanta properties. I'm by Tyler Perry Studios, and I am in this area. And I am the minority contractor in the area.
Yeah, so you got to work around me. You say, you don't have to do business with me, but it's going to cost you more.
Yeah, well, in the area I am, I'm going to be somebody's prime's partner just based off where I am and what I have.
And your expertise.
Yeah, you can go around and look, but I'm right in the neighborhood. I'm right here for you. My office is in the neighborhood. My warehouse is in the neighborhood.
You grew up in the neighborhood.
I grew up in the neighborhood.
You went to college in the neighborhood.
Went to college in the neighborhood.
Right.
I'm centered.
You're hiring people in the neighborhood.
I'm hiring people in the neighborhood. Half of my staff, Eric Towns. You got Eric Towns. You have Stan Watson. You have Stan Farrell. You have Mr. Brown on Cascade. I try to keep people in the neighborhood employed. I try to keep people employed around homes that I own. I try to buy homes near people that are employed by me. That way we community police everything that's going on around us.
And then when the foreign investors now want to come in the neighborhood and buy something, guess what they call it? They need him to turn them around, him to rehab them, him to maintain them. Offline, I'm going to talk to him about something that I'm doing that I could choose anybody to work with me on a couple projects. But I'm interested in trying to work with this brother because I know I can trust him. I know he's a hard worker. He's built stuff for me on my property. Every promise he's ever made, he's kept. He keeps his word. He's timely. He's honest, right? Right? He keeps his word, right? He's not trying to gouge you for a profit. He's trying to make a reasonable return. And some cases he's done stuff for me at cost because he wanted the relationship more than he wanted a buck. We never had that conversation, but I know that's the way you roll, right? It was about. I love this 100%, right? He's like, he believes in himself. And is he perfect? No. Are you? No. Nobody's perfect. So a saint is a sinner that got up. But what he decided to do was get up and take his life back and be a blessing to others while he blesses himself. And as a role model for his children and a role model for people who want to come up. If you can't get a job, create a job. At full tilt, with all your projects, what's the most employees you've had at one time?
I've had maybe 20 or so guys out on the crew one day.
Grinding, one day, 20 people.
Yeah.
We had 20 people hired, making a legal dollar in our neighborhoods because of this brother. Because somebody put their foot in the door and he said to them, please don't let me die out here. And that person, an angel, took the time to love him and make that phone call, and he took everything else with his granddad's help and pushed it into the future. And look at him now. He has at least 5 employees on a daily basis, right?
On a regular basis.
On a regular basis, but it expands to 2025.
Expands to 20. More projects, more muscle, more work. We're not turning any work down. We're gonna be out here getting to it. I'm gonna have whoever is online for that line item of trade to be at the specific location when they're supposed to be.
So somebody's black, say, hook me up, man, I'm your boy, I want to work for you, but they show up late for work. What do you do about that?
We don't tolerate lateness. I'm a stickler. Like I said, if I wanted to leave with my granddaddy every morning, I had to be in the truck with him at 5:30 as he was pulling out the driveway.
Yeah.
So if I am a CEO, and I'm a CEO that works. I'm not the CEO type that sits behind the desk.
Yeah, you hustle.
And point, I get out on the site. I finish concrete.
Yourself?
Myself. We were at City Hall, Trinity Street.
I hope you guys can hear this.
Trinity
it's deep.
Dobbins Air Force Base, which was my largest contract.
Andrew Price. Yeah.
Worked for Centennial Construction and dealt with a lot of racist
Somebody
people.
says, does he do work in Macon area? My guess is he'll travel, he'll find a way to get a job done.
If I can't, I'll know, or I'll be honest and say that I can or I can't.
By the way, do you have a website or something that people can go to?
K3hauling&grading.com.
Repeat it.
K and the number 3, hauling, like hauling dirt, and grading.com is my website. A&D, grading.com. And I'm on LinkedIn and Instagram and all that as well. I have a Facebook page for my business.
I love it. Right?
You can catch me on all the social media outlets.
Right. And so in Macon, Georgia, you want to hire him, he's available. You both are awesome. That's Carol Stewart. So Thaddeus says exactly. So brother, we love our black people, minority. Okay, fine. But brother don't show up for work 2 days in a row. He's late. What do you do? I'll tell you what I do.
We're getting rid of him ASAP. And
hello.
We don't tolerate brother, whomever it may be.
Yeah.
You can't come to the job site late.
Yeah.
I couldn't be late to get in the truck with HB Williams. So I just wanted to roll. It wasn't about any money.
So if the brother shows up, black man, and he's late 3 days in a row, and the Latino shows up, or the white dude shows up, or the Asian dude shows up, and they're exactly on time, who gets fired? Who stays?
The brother's leaving. The Latino or the white guy, whomever came that is punctual and on time, is who's going to work for me.
Right. So we have compassion. We're going to try to hook our folks up, but you can't come half stepping. You can't come half pregnant.
Yeah.
Either you have to have the baby and do it. And by the way, about having babies, I said he's a father. I didn't say he was. I didn't say it was a. What's that phrase? Baby daddy.
No, I'm a father. I'm a husband and a father.
Talk to me. All this baby daddy stuff, mommy, baby mama. What the hell y'all talking about? Either you are a mother or you are a father. A child don't want to grow up saying that's my baby dad. Is that the phrase? That's my baby. That's my baby daddy.
Right.
I mean, what kind of self-esteem crushing do you want to do with the kid? That you're not claiming him as your mother or father. You're not giving him that honor or her that honor, respect. And then we wonder why, a child named Precious ends up on the stripper pole. We named the child stripper Jolene, and no wonder why she ended up role modeling. Watch how you live your life. It may be the only Bible anybody else reads. We got to show up correct. Now, we look. We've been doing so much for so little for so long and almost doing with nothing. We are survivors, but we have to show up correct. And we can, but we got to show up with a dignity and respect that says that I love me and you should too. And part of that is showing up to your job on time that you want to get all your pay. Exactly. So why don't you give them all of your time, right? So we got to stop making excuses and stop being victims and start being victors.
100%. Start being victors.
100%.
Take claim over our lives.
Yeah. And I know this is a new sort of thought process. It's like, okay, but John, are you telling me the playing field's level? No, I'm not telling you the playing field's level. You telling me discrimination doesn't exist? No, I'm not. I'm telling you discrimination absolutely exists. I'm telling you racism absolutely exists. I'm telling you it's unfair out here. Absolutely. I'm saying life is unfair to him yesterday. Is that right?
Yesterday, on my minority contract, I have to mention this at Dobbins Air Force Base. Shouts out to Bill at Centennial Construction for letting me know what it was out here. Maybe 30 years old, 32 years old, working at Dobbins Air Force Base. Youngest man on the crew. Everybody worked for me. I had my Bobcat out there.
They don't know what a Bobcat is.
Bobcat is a machine that you use to grade. It lifts dirt. Okay. It grades land.
Right.
I had my dump truck, had my crew out, and we had Centennial Construction, and Bill, I think his name was Raptor, from Cummings, Georgia, by way of Boston, who likes to call people used guys. Bill, what is a used guy? My name is Kedrick, or you can call me K or Mr. Smith, but I'm not your used guy.
Right.
And Bill wrote me up 29 times on this job over a 4-month period, but yet we finished the project on time. The actual sergeant on the base bought us pizza and lunch for the entire week. So where Bill, my superintendent, had an issue with us, because Bill was, I had my own company out there.
Right.
I just say that Bill was nothing less than a racist man.
Call it the way it is.
He's nothing less than a racist. But, he gave us all kind of grief out there.
Yeah.
But I finished the contract.
Made you sharper though.
Made me sharper. Taught me a whole lot.
Yeah.
I actually got.
So even though he was racist, he still taught you a lot.
I'm a very appreciative of Bill. Thank you, Bill. You let me know what this minority contracting was all about out here. I wouldn't have learned that if I hadn't had that experience with you.
That's right.
But I earned Sammy, who was my project engineer. I still have his letter of recommendation that I used from that same project. Where Bill gave me 27 write-ups, Sammy gave me a letter of recommendation.
Yeah.
Where Bill gave me 27 write-ups, the sergeant bought us pizza and lunch for the entire week upon our finish.
Right.
And told us we were an excellent crew. Don't worry about nothing else nobody else say. I see what's going on out here.
That's it.
He was white himself.
Yeah. So one dude who was on his ass was a white dude, but the one dude who helped his ass was also a white dude, right? So we can't just put everybody in one barrel. We all know we got a cousin Boo Boo in our own family. Mm-hmm. We don't want to lend no money to. We don't want to leave our nephew with cousin Boo Boo for any length of time, or fear that he's going to do something strange to our nephew. We don't trust. Everybody got a cousin Boo Boo that look just like us. So you don't have to. You should not be group thinking or group processing anything. Not all black people are good. Not all white people are bad, and vice versa, right? So in this situation, you had somebody who was on you, not good, who was white, and somebody who helped you, same job,
who
was white, right? But you had a positive attitude and just drove right through it.
Exactly.
Right.
I just knew I didn't want to go backwards, and so this is what I had to endure to keep going through the struggle.
So it's about the grind.
It's about the grind.
Did you hear that? We should have renamed this.
Had to block him out and say, I'm going this way, and kind of take the rearview mirror off and don't look back.
Woo!
Approach I had to take.
Come on now, preaching on Sunday. Take the rearview mirror off, not look back.
Rear views, man, and we going this way.
That's it.
Yeah, that way.
So you keep saying 100%. What does that mean?
100% mean with all I have in me, I've invested 100% of me into whatever I'm doing.
So tell them about what you do 100%. We didn't talk about none of this, by the way. This is all we just riffing.
What I do 100%. I ride these neighborhoods. I find houses in the same streets I used to run. I ride. I find houses. I'm not just the investor and the contractor. I'm the investor. I'm the contractor. I find the deals. I told my former agent that you sold a lot of real estate, but what's funny is that I find the deals and bring them to you.
Right.
You don't find the deals and bring them to me.
Right.
And and the real estate agent gets paid from the seller.
Right.
So if I don't bring an agent to the table, I'm leaving money off the table. So the agent I went to school with, you know somebody.
Right.
So you try to say, hey, I got a couple of dollars for you.
Right.
I'm gonna bring this deal to you.
Right.
But I'm making you look good doing I'm not an agent. I'm just a person who knows how to find properties.
Right.
I don't have the title.
Right.
But I do have the know-how.
Right. But you're willing to share the opportunity with the agent,
Always.
right? So do you want 10% of something or 100% of nothing, right?
Exactly.
Do you want the Bible says person had, I think it was 7 talents, 5 talents, and then 1 talent. I may have got the 7 and the 5 wrong, but I do know that person with the 1 talent tried to bury them. They're afraid it was going to go away, and God did not like the person who buried the talent, right? He wants you to share your talents with others and be about this and not about this. Be about love and not about fear. About what you have to give, not what you have to get. And he just told you that he's 100% about finding these properties. He's also 100% about sharing the opportunity. Very quickly, tell them, and I'm going to do some questions around here because they've got some really good questions, and then we'll wrap it up. So just real quickly, give me some examples of 100%. 100% you're looking for properties. What else do you do 100%?
What else I do? I coach basketball 100%.
All right.
Actually, ELW family out there.
All right.
I coach basketball 100%.
Yeah.
I go find people, and I try to pass opportunities to people who nobody else would give opportunities to. You know, it's hard for us.
No. Right now,
it's hard.
Just 100%. Tell me, you're finding employees.
I'm finding employees.
100%.
100%
from the community.
From the community. Maybe some from the penitentiary.
Whoa! I like that. Did you hear that?
Maybe somebody has to reach out to give somebody an opportunity. Everybody's not a bad seed. Some of these brothers in here by circumstances that weren't really their circumstances. It's been all kind of laws created for us, you know, to stick us in these traps and put us in these places. So,
but you don't get mad about it.
No, you know, you just got to figure out what's going on and send a rope to pull the rest of us up. You got to send that rope over, and you got to hope this. Hey, grab hold to it, and then you got to pull with all your might.
Right, you know, and you do that. You do that. How much?
I do that on a daily basis.
But you're doing it 100.
100%.
Do you raise your children 100?
I raise my children 100%.
Do you run your business 100?
I run my business almost 1,000%. It's not even 100% of my business. It's 1,000% there. I'm there daily. I get up every day and I get to it. I don't make excuses. I didn't come from an excuse-making family. Both my grandfathers and my uncles were all hard workers. 40 years in service here. Cut my uncle Shaq cut grass till he died. So I didn't come from a lazy bloodline of black men. I came from uncles, hard workers, grandfather, hard worker on both sides. Nobody was lazy. Boom. No laziness was respected in the household that I come from. Even with my mother, it transcended into me. I played basketball. We had games at I grew up in Southern California. So we used to play our games at Compton College. You know, I have a 9 o'clock game. You know, my mother had me up at 6, like, hey, the yard need to be done.
Did you hear that? You know, Mom had him up at 6. The yard.
Yeah, she didn't play.
Juanita Smith, my mom, she didn't play. She's like, you know, you can be scared, you can be afraid of these games, but you better be really afraid of me.
That's my mother's saying.
I don't understand these kids. These kids are not afraid of their parents. I mean, I grew up, my mother used to say, look, and I was homeless 6 months of my life. I grew up in Compton, California, from the hood, D-A-H-O-O-D. My mother used to say, when I did something wrong, man, go get a switch off that switch out of the backyard. Right. And you come back with something too small, she'll go out and pick up half the tree and knock your ass out with it, right? And my mother she made it clear, I love you, but I'll knock you out. She said, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out of this world. You don't mess with me. Exactly. I threatened to call the police on my mother one day. You know, I was afraid of her. My mother, and my mother wasn't no abuse, no, like, no, I was in Compton, and my dad wasn't around, and I had all these male influences trying to bully me in the gangs and whatever, and she would make sure that I was going to stay on the straight and narrow. So she had to, you know, my mainstream friends don't understand this. It's code for white. My mainstream friends don't understand why you might have to put your hands on a child every now and then, because they're like, that's abuse. No, it's not. No, sometimes it saves your life, because these streets are not playing, and basically these kids have PTSD out here. Right. Post-traumatic stress disorder, like going to war, but it's not a war for like several weeks. It's a war for your life. You walk out the house, you don't know whether you're dead, live, gonna be jacked, robbed, whatever. But drug dealer right next door, everybody trying to pull you into some negative situation. And my mother, who had work, she had to work, so she had to leave me to the streets. Right. So when I was with her, she made it clear to me, my mother, my sister Monty, Mara Hoskin, my brother Donnie. She said, "You better be more afraid of me than you are these streets, because I again." I brought you in this world, I take you out. So one day I said to threaten, I'm going to call, I'm going to call the police, I'm going to call my father on you, because they were separated. She's like, so she said, don't you want to call your father? He ain't paid child support every hit was a word. I shut up, right? And I told her I was going to call the police, and she said, that's fine. Now in California, different from Georgia, the red light was police. Right, blue light was the morgue. Exactly. She said, oh, okay, you gonna call the car with the red light for me, the police. We gonna call the car for the blue light for you, the morgue. Because I brought you in this world, I'm gonna take you out of here. 100%. Conversation over. Man, that's your mother? That's my mother, Catherine Smith, love her to death. She didn't play. Juanita Smith, thank you for saving my life. And I didn't like her back then. You probably didn't like your mother back then. But I learned, I'd rather you respect, basically my mother's view was, I'd rather you respect me and learn to like me. Right. And like me and never respect me. Exactly. Right? And we have to have enough. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not your child's best friend. Nah, you got to be a parent. You have to be a parent. It's not your job to be there. You're doing a disservice if you don't parent. Yeah. Now, if you get a bonus and y'all good friends, fantastic. But that is not your job. These are God's children, not yours. You're the sanctuary. You're the orbiters, you're the yin and the yang, you're the stewards. Your job is to raise God's children, give them all they need to survive in this crazy world. And that may mean forcing them to do things they don't want to do, like work, getting up early, right? Not staying out late, not going out to that party, and staying to midnight like they want to. Kids come and tell you what time they're gonna come home at night. I don't think so. Okay. Nah. So let's take some questions. Let's sit up here. You guys enjoying this? You guys let us know you're enjoying this. You need to pull back so they can see you. All right, Claudia Almanza, my son knows he makes my life harder than the challenge I already face. Then his life is going to be rough. Exactly. Thaddeus Bailey, but we thank them today. Our parents, yes. Karen Horry, you do the work, parents, exactly. Don Thomas, yeah, so they're all agreeing and enjoying the session. Let's go back and see if we can get some questions here. Let me see. Parenting is the key. Elise, well, these comments are coming in fast. Wow. Be a parent to your children, God's children. That's Chanel C. Karen Horty, enjoying this from Yonkers, New York. And Nita Ward, who works for me. Dr. Nita Ward runs our global, all of our partnerships. John, you crushed you cursed Yolanda crazy. Yeah. Sometimes you got to curse to make a point. But this is my only bad habit. These comments are coming in really fast. Okay, I started my business to keep my son out of trouble. Don Thomas, right? You have a question for my man? Let's get it. You call Boo Boo name with no problem. Then need a code name when you mention white friendships. Just pulling your coattails. Keep up the good work, man. You guys are just so sensitive. Like, okay, we call it rednecks. Cousin Joey, the white. I mean, I don't care. Look, my white friends will say they have rednecks in their family. I can't tell you the word of what I have in my family, but you know what I'm talking about. That you have it in everybody's family. Every family is dysfunctional, right? We start having real conversations here. Stop being sensitive about the wrong things, right? When is the memo coming out? Lance Tilton. That's coming out September of this year. It's going to be my most important book. Is he coming to the conference? Yolanda. Boom. Are you?
I'll be there, Yolanda. I'll be there.
He'll be speaking. So you're going to get a chance to meet him in person. Derek Smith, what's your future endeavors?
Operation Buy the Block before they do. That's my future endeavor. That's my present endeavor. Today I was looking at property. I kind of look at property by default on a daily basis. So my initiative now is to buy more, and my other initiative is to get all the brothers who work for me who say they want to buy a home, to get them qualified as first-time home buyers.
Jakari said, what's your strategy in obtaining more properties?
Simple. I'm going in certain communities, inner city communities of Atlanta. I'm buying off the belt line, and my strategy is to identify, call, and acquire. Okay. Identify a vacant house, an abandoned house, a home for sale. Typically, I look for properties that don't have for sale signs in the yard, which are less popular. If it's a house that's really it's going to be sold and it has a for sale sign in it, the for sale sign just may disappear. It just may disappear. Yeah. But we're out here.
Operation Buy the Hood. Elisa Flowers.
Yeah, we're out here, and we're not going to stop. Each person that I know that has anything, any remote type of savings, I try to pair them up and group them and say, hey, I'm on this street. Why don't you buy the other one on this same street? Why don't you buy the other one on John? You buy on the same street. Then we come a community group owning street for street and keep the same movement going. All
right, so Terrence Sanders, great. He's have a credit score of 723 in school from mortuary services, mortuary science till 2019. Need to start a business this year. Any ideas? I have a couple grand saved. I'm a felon and have a wife and children. Any ideas?
I got a perfect idea for you. If you have $1,000 or $2,000 and you have a business, you can go to the bank, any bank, put $1,000 on deposit and try to secure a $10,000 line of credit. But the same day you do that, you need to repeat that same move 3 different times. So I guess you'll need about $3,000 to make the move that I'm telling you to make. $3,000 one day. Start your day at 7 o'clock. Be at the bank by the time it opens. Go to Wells Fargo, 8:30. Go to Bank of America, 9:30. Go to Chase, 10:30. deposit $1,000 in each one of those accounts on the cord, do it all the same day, so when your credit gets pulled, everything happens at once. So you don't have all these, you won't have to blow up on your credit score.
The inquiries.
You won't have the inquiries. If you can obtain a $10,000 line of credit from 3 different institutions, okay, that means that when you pull the $10,000, your payment is going to be minimal. If you have, if your money's come in to where you can sustain yourself, and then you can make your payment on the line of credit.
What are you doing with the line of credit, though?
You're getting the line of credit to go acquire a property.
Okay, so just to be clear, I'm a presidential appointee at the U.S. Treasury Department. I've got a security clearance, yada, yada, yada. So I can be clear. He was saying something completely legal. You just got to advise each of the banks. When you can't, in other words, you got to tell the banks that you're doing this. He was just trying to keep the inquiries from rolling up on your credit report on a staggered basis.
Yeah, you do it all the same day, so they don't hit nothing wrong with doing that.
Yeah, but you got to tell
smart.
You're being smart. You got to tell everybody what you're doing, so it's full disclosure. Right. And you're taking the money, and you're gonna go
to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Or Pittsburgh is the area here in Atlanta. It's a community that's off the belt line. You have a Dare Park. You have Lakewood. You can go to any one of those communities where you find houses, blighted homes, $30,000 and under.
Or Detroit, by the way.
Detroit, you can with
$1,000.
Detroit, you will buy a whole bunch of properties in Detroit.
Yeah, you'll buy for $1,000 a home.
Detroit, Louisiana, Atlanta,
Mississippi.
Atlanta's changing. Mississippi,
deep Mississippi,
some parts of Alabama. You know, places where you can go acquire homes for $30,000 and under.
Right.
California is off the map.
Off the map. Forget about that.
New York is kind of off the map. You can't do it there.
Maybe Arizona, parts of Arizona, maybe parts of Texas.
Rural parts of Texas. But you have to get in areas where
nobody else wants at the moment. But everybody needs housing.
Exactly.
So you buy the shack, get your boys to go to Home Depot or Lowe's, rehab it.
And get in there and figure it out.
I
I became a contractor by getting mad at the contractors I was hiring. I already knew the game from my grandfather. But I tried to hire some guys, and I said, you know what? I can do a better job than you guys are doing. So I bought a truck. Then I bought another piece of equipment. Right now I have 5,000 square foot warehouse with paint sprayers, bobcats, scaffolds, ladders, whatever.
Everything he needs.
I have it. And so that all came from sweat equity.
Yeah.
I outworked guys on my crew when I was working.
So somebody says Macon, Georgia was as low as $3,000. Cornell Van Rail said
100% Cornell.
Hugo Anaya, how to structure the deals. We can't get into the details like that, right? Because we can't start getting into giving you advice, right? But I think that it's like common sense. You go and buy something that is the worst house in the best block, that's affordable,
right.
And you want neighbors on the block. You don't want to be completely vacant. You can't. And you buy it for as little as you can. You put whatever minimum down payment you have on it, and you use as much of your sweat equity to rehab the house. And then you buy, rehab, and rent, buy, rehab, and sell, or buy, rehab, and hold.
Buy, rehab, and rent, sell, or hold.
Right. Now we didn't talk about this, but this is just like common sense.
Right.
By the way, let's rewind the tape. Somebody was basically saying, why are you harder on black people than you are on white people? Because white people are gonna be okay. That's why. Okay. If you white, you got to prove you're incompetent to be fired from a job. You black, you got to prove you're competent to be hired for a job.
Right.
If you're black, you're born on probation in America. You got to be twice as smart, twice as intelligent, twice as prepared, twice as well dressed, stay up twice as late, get up twice as early. So I'm trying to prepare you for battle. Don't get angry, get even. Don't think this world's going to be fair to you. It's not. And by the way, so I'm being harder on you because I love you. I'm being hard on you because I love you. I want you to win. And you're not going to win if I pat you on the head. Oh, you poor little black person. You a victim. No. Get off your rear end and go out there and hustle, right? And the other thing is, you always want to leave even your adversary with their dignity.
Always.
So talk without being offensive. Listen without being defensive. And always leave even your adversary with their dignity. That's why he was talking about the guy who was a racist. He was even hesitated to say that. He was a racist who he admitted helped him out.
Helped me out tremendously.
Right?
I appreciate it.
So you want to step over mess and not in it. And you got to leave. And let me tell you something about karma in the universe. If you want a little grace, you better show. If you want a little grace, you better show a little mercy. So mercy is when some SOB does not get the rear end whipping that they so rightly deserve. And grace is when you and I get the blessing that we don't deserve. I'll repeat that. Showing mercy is when some horrible person does not get the rear end whipping or the tongue lashing they so rightly deserve.
Right.
And grace is when you and I get the gifts and the blessings that we don't deserve. Did you get grace on that property on Orchard? Is it Orchard?
That was East Ontario.
East Ontario. Do you get grace with that?
I got amazing grace on that.
Even though you worked hard, you realized that was amazing, right?
Yes, I did.
Do you think that has to do with how you treat people?
I do. Everything comes back around full circle.
Whatever goes around
comes back around full circle.
So you've had an unfair situation being born black in America. It seems unfair sometimes.
Yes, it does.
You getting angry about it?
No, I'm being the best I can at it and not worrying about what it is and just doing something what I can do. We're not gonna make excuses, you know. We're just gonna put our foot down to the gas pedal and go.
Is that one?
Hey, get gas pedal to the floor.
100?
100%. Go.
All right, my cousin Rakita. He said he got amazing grace. Exactly. Terrence Sanders, we need this tough love. I love correction. I think Terrence is the one jamming me up later. Thank you, Terrence.
How do you protect your houses? That's an interesting one right there, Michael. Man, I kind of police my houses. I'm there morning, noon, and night. When I start a project, you're going to see me. Before I buy the house, though, I get an identity of what's going on in the neighborhood. It's easy to identify. You just come and see. And when you see that house where it's 3 or 4 cars and loud music and people hanging out, you know you got some special individuals there. You got to keep an eye out for it.
Right.
And, because in Atlanta, you got this the home of the copper thieves, okay? They're going to steal all the copper. They're going to steal your AC unit. Yeah. They're going to steal anything they can from you.
They ain't nailed down.
That they can. So you got to secure it. You have to put alarms up. And you got to kind of let everybody know, hey, I come at different hours of the day. Right. You got to put alarms on different things, and you got to keep it well lit. But it is a full-time job securing your property and watching out for the copper thieves, because you got people that's fighting addiction out there.
Addiction. They're
going to steal your copper no matter what.
So again, we're keeping it real here. And somebody said, we're not a victim. I think Chanel C. Martin make sure I get the same right. Dunkley said we're not victims, and that's part of what I'm saying. But also, we're not judging people, right? He just said, look, people have addictions. As a result of that, they're going to steal your copper, right? Look, broke people do desperate things. Mm-hmm. People without jobs do desperate things. Poor people who have low self-esteem, depression, do desperate things. Mm-hmm. Are not judging anybody. We're saying this is an is.
Right.
And until we change our situation, there's not enough police that can change a neighborhood. If for people who are depressed and without hope, and what we're trying to do is give you, if we just had one Kedrick in every neighborhood, every 10-block area in America, you change this whole situation around. If we just had one dude who worked for him on every block in America, you'd stabilize every community. And so, because people are role modeling, they're modeling what they see. But in the meantime, you're fighting depression, you're fighting hopelessness, you're fighting joblessness, and people will try to steal your stuff. And you can't be, feeling sorry for somebody trying to steal your stuff. You better protect your stuff and tell them you better get off my porch with that mess. Right. So, again, like my mother, I love you enough to kick your rear end.
100%.
100%. Okay. And if you're going to do the crime, no, you're going to do the time. Right? I say to tell people there's a lot of love in the word no. I love you, but you need to go get a job.
Right now.
I love you. If you do the crime, you dang well going to do the time. I love you. When you have that child, you better take care of them. It was not that child's fault that you decided to lay with somebody. You got to take care of that child for 18 years. It's not that child's fault. Don't make them feel guilty. Right. I love you, but if you don't call yourself a community leader, you better do some community work. Or whatever kind of Bryant close to New York. Good luck. Karen Horry.
The East Coast is tough. High prices out there. You do better coming to the South.
Yeah.
My best advice on that.
Yeah. Now, we're not saying you can't do it. But you may buy a property for $150,000, put $30,000 into it, sell it maybe for a $10,000-$15,000 profit after all the expenses, right?
$10,000-$15,000, or the prices can go up. It depends on which one of these neighborhoods you land in.
Right.
What's going on now is that you have a blow up on the belt line. So where you might buy in at this day,
they don't know what that means. The blow up on the belt line.
The belt line is it's a.
You want to be in your transportation district.
Exactly.
Somebody's building a rail system. They build,
rail system connecting green spaces with parks, walkways,
good
bike
schools
trails,
around good schools,
great schools.
Be around good schools, right? You around a crappy school, you have to be a bunch of crappy people.
I learned that from my wife. Buy in a school district, buy where the school district is the one.
Right.
Okay, the difference.
Karen's house to the south, here I come. She's moving from New York.
Right. And you have people buy $1 million homes in areas where the school district is high, public school, and other people buy homes and send their kids to private schools, okay, and pay $20,000 and $30,000. But the people who send there buy the $600,000 to $700,000 homes that buy in the public school areas where the school scores are high, they end up paying for the house in 15 years in refi, and the refi money pays for the child's education. So we'll go on the south side and buy a house and then send our kid to, let's say, a Woodward and pay the tuition. The tuition equals out to the payment on the house.
Right.
So it's a difference in how people think. But I think to buy an area and pay the more money to live in a better school district, because the property value will achieve, whereas buying on a different side, you won't have the property value, but you'll still be paying the tuition. $30,000 in tuition after 10 years is $300,000.
Right.
And so you could have had that on the house and let the school.
You notice he's financially literate, right? You see he's doing the numbers, right? This is a math equation.
The school system handle the business instead of paying for the education.
So somebody just said they're closing schools in the city of Atlanta. Chaz. Well, no, they're closing. I know the lady who runs the school district, Maria. She's fantastic. When you run a school district, you can't please nobody, right? I mean, the reality is our kids are dropping out of these schools. If they're dropping out of schools, that means the city's not getting the money from the state or the federal government. It's $5,000 to $8,000 per kid that's there, which means they have less money for teachers, less money for computers. It's like negative builds on negative. Then they're low performing schools. You got to shut them down. And try to consolidate. So, none of these problems are easy. And there's a sister running the Atlanta Public Schools who I think is doing a great job, Maria Kostarfin. We should be giving her love and support and making sure we're showing up to a career day and parenting night. I know you do all that stuff, right? Versus complaining about we need to do something about it. Okay, somebody asked a question about, let me see here. Ja Grant, do you think it's more lucrative to put money in a savings account or in a stock account? I'm going to say if you're trying to get approved for a bank, put the money in a savings account.
Say a CD.
A CD or whatever, so you can show
you can put a bank balance, a certificate deposit, and you can go get a line of credit against that. Now, that being a secured piece for the line of credit.
Yeah. Now that said, if you ask me what's a greater return, by the way, the camera's over there. Okay. If you ask me what a greater return, you're fine. They love you. Okay. It doesn't matter where you look at it. They love you. Right. A handsome black man who's working with a stock account. They think you're Matt Damon right now. You make it smart, sexy. But if you talk about just a pure play investment, one of the worst places you can get an investment on just money sitting in a savings account. Invest in stock. Look, over the will stocks go up and go down? Yes. Booms and busts all the time. But you look at the long arc of history since the Great Depression in the 20s, literally from 1920s, 100 years till today, this is what's happened. Has there been this? Yes. And this? Yes. This? Yes. And this. Every 20 years or so, you have these, but if you look at the long arc of the investment, stocks do like this. Is money working for you while you're sleeping? So black folks in particular are very conservative. We think investment is a house, buying a house and buying a mortuary bond or a life insurance policy. That is not investment. Right. You got to invest in the stock market. The stock market is like printing money. The compounding is amazing. And I talked to people earlier about fractional accounts. You can open an account and put $25 a month and buy stock, right? In a fractional investment. But buy the brands you like and buy, sit, and hold. Just like real estate. Buy, sit, and hold. Don't sit there and be doing day trading and all that stuff. Buy it, sit, hold, forget about it. Buy, sit, hold, forget about it, and keep building your wealth. I'm going to do a whole piece on this trip I just came from Jekyll Island.
Okay.
That used to be us. Right. That used to be our land. Right. And I'm going to do a whole piece on from slavery to forward, from an economic perspective, and the $1 trillion that used to be ours. Don't get mad about it. Talking about reparations, all that stuff. We do reparations, sure, but you ain't getting it. Okay, it would break the government. So let's not worry about stuff that ain't gonna happen. I say ain't on purpose. Focus on what you can do, right? And I'm convinced the next time I do this video this week, I'm gonna do a whole piece on how we can build wealth again, right? In these areas that nobody wants, and really build on this conversation. I'm going to build a whole strategy But I think there's $1 trillion since America was built, there's $1 trillion of wealth that black folks should have had to fund our businesses, whatever, that poof, right? Part of which was tied to slavery, but part of which was our own fault. We didn't pay our taxes, property taxes, so the properties would let somebody else came in and bought them. Or we didn't value those properties that grandma had or granddaddy had, so we wanted to move to the city and leave the stuff in the country to somebody else. Well, the country is now the city.
Exactly. Atlanta, for instance, everybody left from the South to take opportunity in the bigger cities.
Right.
The opportunities for, my mother and father both went to Grambling State University.
Right.
Both from Louisiana.
Right.
Moved to Los Angeles, California, where I was raised.
Right.
Day high school graduate. But now the new opportunity comes from everybody from the city migrating back to the South. That's why you see all these different license plates running around in Atlanta, and that's just a trend.
He notices the license plate. See, my man, he has decided, he is a CEO of this 10 square block area. He even notices the license plates on the freeway. Look, I'm gonna wrap this up. Because it's Sunday night, we should be doing something other than this, right? But he loves you enough to want to give you this knowledge. I love you enough to want to introduce you to him. Haven't you loved this guy? Give him some love. The black Matt Damon. Handsome, employed, investable, invested, a survivor, a thriver, a father, a friend, a community leader. Isn't he making smart sexy? We've been making dumb sexy for too long. See, we've dumbed down and celebrated it. And Quincy Jones says it takes 20 years. We got that love to give you. It takes 20 years to change a culture. I'll see him this week. We've been making dumb sexy for too dang on long. We got to make smart sexy again. This is the new role model. Civil rights in the suites, not just civil rights in the streets. Not about race and the color line. It's about class and poverty. It's about being unbought, unbossed, and unbiased, coming to you straight and no chaser with the civil rights movement. And going to meet you at the public forum for Whole Global Forum on April 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. That's free to you. Look at my other video I did 2 days ago on the public forum, the Facebook Live public forum. I'm going to do for you for free, where you get to meet me in person and people like Kedrick in person. But also the annual meeting will be broadcast. The Whole Global Forum annual meeting, the Davos of North America for the Empowerment of the Poor, will be broadcast for you April 10th through 12th. We've got some surprise guests coming to speak. We're bringing this whole movement to you from civil rights to civil rights. The color's not black, white, red, brown, or yellow. It's having some more green. Wherever you're living today, you got too much month into your money. You're living in New York City, I don't care what color you are. You're living from hand to mouth, unless you make $100,000 a year. You're struggling to make ends meet, right? So let's stop this racial thing. Let's stop being against our white brothers who are living in rural Georgia,
right?
Are struggling just like the brothers in urban, right?
Yeah. The projects, and then we got the trailer parks too, which is the same thing.
Right. So one of the reasons we have this political situation right now is that we should have just said Black Lives Matter. We should have said Black Lives Matter 2. Black Lives Matter 2. In other words, give some room for everybody. I want to say it's not a revolution, it's an evolution, right? And because we got other people now upset that we don't care about them. We got white folks feeling like, well, y'all don't care about us. You think that you're the only victim, right? So let me show you what the victim looked like. Let me go riot at the ballot box. So now you got my white friends who are making $100,000 who are now making $80,000 on a job, but they're underemployed. They're stressed out. You got all these 30 million black and white people who are stressed out. They've been poor for 50 years at the in these small towns. But they see the black America getting all this attention, the minorities being loud on TV. Like, well, wait a minute, where's our representative, right? So we got to make sure we are with each other, for each other, trying to uplift each other, because what we want is our prosperity, right? And we want to leave even our adversary with our dignity. A minority group will only survive by taking the moral high ground.
Exactly.
And that's what my brother has done. He's lived his life right. And look, when you got the power to quote Robert Rue, you don't have to use it, right? And I know who I am. He knows who he is. It's okay if you don't like us. We like us. You got any final words?
Hey, y'all don't sleep. Atlanta is changing and it's turning. Bring your monies and invest. Don't be mad at what's going on. Get with it. If you don't have enough to get with it yourself, go to your church, go to whatever support groups you have, pool together the money. We don't do that. Pool together the money.
Trust each other.
We 5,000 plus 5 plus there's 20,000 with 4 people. Y'all get yourselves together.
Get your credit score up.
Hey, if you know the contractors, hey, if you're a plumber, go find the electrician, the HVAC guy. We make money as contractors. Pool your monies together. Come by. Thaddeus, I see you out there looking, man. Go get Brent. Go get Brent. Go get everybody else you know that's contractors, man. Let's pool it together. There's still opportunity. The Bluff still has opportunity. Lakewood still has opportunity. Bankhead still has opportunity.
This all around the world.
Hey, we have opportunity. We got to be strong enough to pull somebody, and we can't withhold the knowledge. If you know something,
Joyce says, what are the counties again? Can you repeat them?
Fulton County, DeKalb County. I'm calling off inner city neighborhoods. Pittsburgh. I'm calling off Lakewood. I'm calling off the Bluff, or English Avenue as they call it.
Yeah.
I'm calling off Bankhead, Grove Park, where Andre Dickinson is the councilman.
Yeah.
I'm calling off all these neighborhoods where we have opportunity. Pool your resources together. Don't be mad at each other.
And don't be mad at other people coming in your neighborhood doing what you're not doing.
Let's do it. Right? They coming around in buses, y'all.
Yeah.
6 tour buses looking at the neighborhood.
Don't go run them off. Just go buy the property or partner with them. Shoot, look, they got the capital.
Let's partner with it. Hey, I'm around here. I'm a contractor. I'm up for hire.
Right.
My office number is 404-752-6613. Gina is in there daily. Call us. We're able to help. I don't mind helping, but the biggest help that you'll ever have in life is yourself. If you're not willing to help yourself, then you really can't knock on nobody's door and ask them to help you.
That's right.
And that's one of the problems that we have with each other.
So look, I have a dining room here. I'm gonna be doing. Me and Ambassador Young are gonna be doing these salon dinners. The CEO of SunTrust, Bill Rogers, is a friend of mine. We're gonna do north-south dinners. We're gonna do south dinners near my house with a few folks from his neighborhood, Caucasian, who have never been to my neighborhood, right? And we're gonna have a conversation, build relationships. It's 12 people at dinner. Then we're gonna go to North and do dinners at his house, and bring some folks who haven't been, who are successful, to his neighborhood, and build relationships so that you can't do business if you don't build relationships. You don't know anybody. You don't trust each other. We got to get out of our comfort zones and start being lovingly uncomfortable. And if you and by the way, reduce this to your block. Go on your block and get some of your girlfriends, some of your brothers, the folks you meet at the barbershop, and talk about something other than the Kardashians. Talk about something other than I love Beyonce, but something other than these celebrities or whatever. People who are entrepreneurs and doers talk about ideas. People who are depressed talk about other people, right? So and just talk about using all their life drama, talking about other people. Talk about your ideas. Come together and you said 10 people with $100 each, and invest in a property in Detroit, or invest in stock. Right. If you have $25 each, I know you have $25 and you wasting it on the club.
You wasting it on in the VIP buying bottles. And
come on, you not go home. All these folks going to
phone bills and Georgia Power not paid and an eviction notice at your door. A week or so later, stop fronting, y'all.
And why you going to a club, the little raggedy VIP area, paying for a bottle of wine for champagne for $500 or $200 that they bought for $20, right? Trying to impress somebody, and the folks laughing at you are the club owners, who are going all the way to the bank on your arrogance and your money, while you sitting there profiling, going home broke, right? They get in their little convenient economy car and driving to the north side in their mansion, right?
All my block boys out there, hey, whatever you got in the shoe boxes and the mattress, pull it together, fellas. Pull it together, man.
Start being smart about
it. It's something better to buy than a piece of jewelry that you're going to get stuck up for, and once it's gone, it's gone.
That's
There's something else to buy than the foreign cars that you go put in whomever's name, and once the run is over with, they come take them.
Yeah, renting rims. Drive me crazy.
They can pull a pistol on you, but they can't take the real estate from you.
And somebody can pull a pistol on you, but they can't take your self-esteem, can't take your dignity, right? Can't take your, once you have knowledge in here, no one can take it from you.
Nobody.
Once it's like a rubber band that's expanded, it never returns to its original size, right? So you got to stop being angry and start getting even. Stop being angry. I'm not hitting nobody with no brick. I'm gonna hit you with my American Express black card and knock you out.
Right, that's right. I see somebody chiming in for the number again. I'm K3, K and the number 3, because it's me, Kedrick, and Collar. Those are my sons, Kedrick and Collar.
Named after his kid.
Kedrick. K3 Hauling and Grading LLC. The number is 404-752-6613. We're local, right in Sylvan Hills community. We right in the community, y'all, doing what we do.
Now, somebody said here on this feed, hey, attention everybody, I have the money you need, blah, 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 with 5% down. Now, thank you very much for saying that, Akan. With all due respect, I don't know who you are. I can't vouch for what you're doing. If anybody wants to respond to that, you got it. I'm sure he's okay with this. You got to check him out. If you were invested in me, I don't want you to, but if you're invested in me, I'd ask you to check me out. I'm publicly searchable. Anybody who's legitimate should be publicly searchable. He's publicly searchable. Got a website, got a physical address. You don't have to chase him down And he's got a reputation, right? You want references. Anybody you're gonna invest in, you want to call 5 other people. What's your experience with this? So cool on what he said, but don't get emotional about this. Check people out, and if somebody doesn't want to check you out, they get offended. That's the first sign you should not be investing with them, right?
Correct.
All right, so I hope you've enjoyed this. This is much longer than we thought it would be. I got to go back to work, pay for this time that I lost.
Right.
It's Sunday night. He's got to get back to his family. People blowing up his phone. But this is what love is. Love is work. And this is a new movement. We're sitting in a moment in history. It was like, positive brothers. Thanks for the advice. We need more of this. Anthony Burks. And we love you much. We love you enough to talk to you straight. And he and I are going to try to do more together. My job now is to help him even become more successful. And that's what we need to do. And we need to tell each other we love each other. I love you, brother. You're a good man.
Thank you, man.
And we got to come correct, folks. This is our time of all races and all places around the world. Enough with this fear. Enough with this division. Enough with this hate. God does not stand for hate. God is embedded in love. And we are all God's children. That's why I'm rocking this tonight. All right. Peace and light. We're out.